All right, Aoife Teague, accounts lead and partnerships lead. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. I'm really excited because we are going to actually deep dive into some real quizzes that are using Octane AI. We're going to hear your best practices, your strategy, what you're seeing the best DTC brands are doing in order to use a quiz to accelerate their list growth, capture zero party data, and perhaps most importantly, improve their conversion rate by recommending the right products based on the data that they're gathering from their customers. So, with that said, what are some of these best practices that you're finding or you're seeing from the brands that are really doing well with the data from gathered from the quiz?
Yeah, to be honest, what we have found is that the more simple a quiz is and the more fun and engaging it is, that is when it performs the best. Whenever it gets too complicated or the customer can't really understand what you're asking them, they tend to drop off a little bit. So, yeah, we always recommend keeping the quiz maximum 10 questions, including your opt in as well. And using imagery, obviously your brand colors, and just making sure that it blends seamlessly with the website. I'm going to share my screen and I'll take you through a quiz that I love. Can you see my screen okay?
Not
No,
yet.
I don't.
Oh,
Okay,
yep, yep.
cool.
Salute.
Okay. Yeah, so this is one of my clients, Taste Salud, and they are a vitamin drink. Another best practice that comes with the quiz is definitely the placement of the quiz. That's really going to be the biggest test for how your quiz performs. So, navigation bar, anywhere that it's really visible for the customer, that's where we would always recommend. So, this is a really strong placement because it's obviously very easy for the customer to find. But this is their quiz. It's really pretty. It's really fun. It has this loading bar, so it tells the customer how long they're going to take spending a quiz, which is also important because a lot of customers don't want to spend all day taking a quiz. So they really just want to know, okay, 7 questions, I can commit to that. And they use like fun emojis, really simple questions. And let's see. And they're really asking me about like what flavors I like, what I like. So it's making sense to me as a customer that, okay, this is actually related to getting a product recommendation. And then with this opt in, I'll obviously be sent my quiz results, which is great if I'm not ready to purchase straight away. But on the flip side, the brand will be able to use all of my answers then to segment for future product recommendations as well.
Yeah.
And here is my product result. So, yeah, this is the flavor based on my sweetness that I like, based on how adventurous I am. And then they also give me some other options as well. If this isn't something that I love, if I don't like strawberry watermelon, I can go through and choose some other flavors. So, yeah, we for the results section, I always recommend having like 1 to 3 main product recommendations because otherwise there's just too many and it doesn't feel personalized. It doesn't feel like you've listened to what your customer has told you. So I really like that they have like the main product recommendation and then a few other options as well.
So a couple interesting things here. So this is a vitamin water. Vitamins, I feel like they go through the quiz to understand what maybe their habits are, the routines, their challenges, their goals,
Yeah.
and then use that to personalize the recommendation page. This is maybe a little bit different because it's more of like a drink maybe that you're there to enjoy.
Yeah.
So it's not so prescriptive in like the medical sense, but more so like here's your SKU, and then the nice thing as well is the recommendation, the additional recommendations. I'm sure increase the AOV.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're going to take a look at the back end analytics, but I would be very curious to know how the average order value of somebody who takes a quiz differs from somebody who doesn't, because there isn't that natural upsell right below the product that you're adding to the cart.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, we definitely have seen with our quiz. So every year we'll go through all of our quizzes that have really good placement, and we'll figure out like what the improvement in stats were compared to like someone who doesn't take a quiz. So the conversion rate, the average order value, the email opt-in rate, things like that. I don't remember the exact number, and it obviously we have it per vertical, but it obviously totally depends on like the cost of everything as well. But there is always an increase in the average order value, and we do recommend using that upsell section as well. And sometimes putting a discount code or a bundle code, something like that, on the results page can really help even more improve that average order value. Um, yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And then if we go into the actual copywriting of the quiz,
Yeah,
I'm curious to know how they are using those data points in order to inform what the recommended product is. And I'm guessing some of them are more so for the brand. Maybe it's to help the brand understand how to segment the
yeah,
user. Like, for example, question 2 is pick a word that describes your drink mood today:
yeah,
nostalgic, adventurous, relaxing. Do
yeah.
you think that those actually inform what product is recommended, or it's more to segment, or it's more just a fun question?
So, yeah, this is one of our dynamic quizzes. So, with the dynamic quizzes, you can have, if you wanted every answer in the quiz to dictate the results, you can have that. But for this quiz, they don't use that question to dictate results. I think that's just more of a fun question, to be honest. With the quiz, we would usually recommend, it depends what way you're going to build your quiz, but definitely having a mix of questions that are going to help you give your customer a very good product recommendation, and then also thinking about what data you would love to learn about your customers, what would really help with your email segmenting or your SMS segmenting as well, is really important. um, to be able to retarget your customers and tell them information based on the data that they've already told you really helps personalize your marketing. So yeah, we definitely recommend doing a mix of both.
Mm. Now, do you have the post quiz email ready? Because I just did it. I haven't received it yet. But maybe in the meantime, you can talk through like what the strategy is, what the flow actually looks like, assuming that they're using Klaviyo that you've seen to have the best results.
Yeah, I just got my quiz results email, so I will share that. So, yeah, here are my results. The email is obviously like really nicely designed. I have my product recommendation here. You can also include a URL that would bring me back to the website and back to my exact results page with all of that upsell section as well. But there's a lot that you can do on the email side of things. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is set up your quiz results email, so anyone who hasn't purchased, they can purchase later. They can save their recommendations as well, so if they want to repurchase. But there's so much more that you can do, and it really depends, like if somebody purchased from the quiz, if they didn't purchase. So if someone did purchase from the quiz, that's great. You can obviously send them reminder emails about restocking their purchase. You can send them information on what they did purchase. So if I, for example, purchase this strawberry watermelon energy and focus drink, they can start to send me more content then based on like what improvements I should notice from taking this product, how it's going to help fix all my problems. So things like that we've seen work really, really well, especially when it's not just focused on selling. I think that's when brands start to build a really good relationship with their customers as well. Something else that we see work really well are like how-to videos. If it's like a beauty brand, that works really well. So if you've purchased a makeup product, you can show them, like send them videos and things like that on how to use the product. If I don't purchase, then you can nearly use the data that I've given you, and my product recommendation as like a way to like warm me up nearly into purchasing. And like really you could send the same type of content, like this product is going to be great for you because X, Y, and Z, and that type of thing.
Hmm. Yeah, a couple of things looking at that email. So right
Yeah.
now, on the screen, we can only just see the product image itself and the call to action button. But
Yeah.
if you scroll to the greeting, it's hey. I don't think that they actually asked for a first name, so maybe they're getting the first name from some other email opt-ins.
Mm,
But in Klaviyo, you can add a dynamic tag. If there is no first name, then just say hey friend or hey there or something,
yeah.
because that looks like it's definitely missing something.
Yeah.
Another thing is because they're capturing the data from the quiz, and they are saying like, what vibe are you feeling today, nostalgic, adventurous, whatever, or what are your goals, they can incorporate that into the email copy
Yeah.
dynamically. So you would just add a text block, a dynamic text block, based on the custom property that's gathered in the quiz. So they're using Klaviyo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so all the quiz data from Octane is immediately ported over when a contact is created, as in when Aoife drops in her email address. And on the right hand side of that contact info, we'll see all the custom properties that are specifically her answers to the quiz. And that's really where I think Octane excels, and especially with AI, Klaviyo's new AI feature, personalization is going to be so much more granular and dynamic, that those data points are going to be critical. And I think that there are opportunities to incorporate more of that in these emails. It's not like they need to create a lot of splits in the flow. It's just build
Yeah.
once with a dynamic placeholder, and then everybody gets a different email depending on how they answered the quiz.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you can, at the moment, you can collect someone's name in the quiz, and that will be, you can reuse it in Klaviyo. We're also in the next few months, I will say, coming out with a feature where you not only will you be able to reiterate their name in Klaviyo, but you'll also be able to do it in Octane. So when I get my results, for example, it could be like, here's your personalized results, Aoife. So yeah, I think that's 100% correct. Like being able to do more with the data in your email in your quiz is going to be fantastic.
Do you have any other insights, ideas, takeaways on the success that the Octane AI quiz has brought them?
Yeah, definitely. So the conversion rate for this quiz, the last time I checked, it was at 8%. But like, there's definitely things that we can always do to improve that. With Octane, you get a full dashboard of analytics for all of your quizzes as well. So it's always a great indicator of how my quiz is performing and what I can do to improve. So I'll just show you. This is one of our demo accounts, but basically with Octane, you get your full dashboard of analytics. So we'll be able to see the starts, the completion rate. Completion rate's always a great indicator if people are enjoying your quiz, if they're struggling with it. Email opt-ins, phone opt-ins, conversion rate, and revenue. But then we also see the drop-off rate on each question, which is something that I would look at for my clients a lot. So drop off rate, if it's very high, there's something we need to change there. Do we need to change the language? Do we need to change the order of the questions? But we actually just launched A/B testing, so you can make very informed decisions now. And the A/B testing feature, this is obviously a demo account, so it's not going to look very good, but when you actually have an A/B test, you can really compare the graphs side by side, and it looks so good. It really, one of my clients was testing, they actually tested two completely different quizzes against each other, and one had double the revenue of the other quiz, which was super interesting to see. But this is kind of what it looks like. And yeah, we'll basically test the two quizzes based on whatever traffic that you decide. You want a 50-50, ideally you would. And then you'll be able to see here, okay, what's really going on, who's the winner here.
Yeah. Right. So can we dive into that a little bit? What
Yep.
are some of the elements that you would test in the quiz? And then based on those parts that you're testing, what are the different results that you'd be looking for to understand which variation did better?
Yeah. So to be honest, if I was A/B testing things, I will probably just test one thing at a time. So there's a lot of things that we've noticed over the years that have kind of increased drop off rates in the quiz. So having a like start quiz with an image instead of jumping straight into the questions, that seems to have a very high drop off rate on the first page of a quiz. So I would definitely recommend A/B testing like a starting page versus diving straight into your Q&A section just to see how that performs. Usually if we remove that page, it increases the completion rate of the quiz. So I would definitely recommend that. There's other things like testing a discount code in your email opt-in versus no code. also the results pages. So with Octane, you can totally customize your descriptions in the quiz. And I think if a lot of brands won't do it because they don't have the bandwidth or things like that, but I think putting work into customizing your results pages more will really increase the conversions. So updating your descriptions to let the customer know they're being shown this product because they've given you this information and this product is going to help them with that type of thing. For example, with the Salud one, my recommendation would help me with energy and focus. I think just adding simple text like that to the results pages would really help with conversion rates. So that would be something interesting that I would really like to test as well.
Yep. A couple other things are maybe a phone number capture.
Yeah,
So, like maybe you capture an email first, then afterwards you capture a phone number. It could
yeah,
be optional, or you could actually have it. But if SMS is contributing, say, 20% to all e-commerce sales, that's huge, and that's definitely a big asset that you'd want to capture. So maybe
yeah,
you're incorporating that. Maybe it is the test length. Maybe it is the traffic source too. If or the call to action, for a different promise. Say if you're Salud, it's that it's a vitamin water versus it's a tasty water alternative or something. So it's a health versus taste. Which one actually finishes the quiz at a higher completion rate? So yeah, those are just a few other options. Now wrapping up for this, any other final takeaways, actionable insights that the e-commerce marketer can use specifically from Salud?
yeah, I think just really keeping they're a great example of a quiz just because the design is so good and it's all done directly in Octane as well. So like you can really make your quiz beautiful, fun, engaging, and then obviously all of that data that you capture as well, you can use that at a later date, which is fantastic. So I always think they're a great example. I think probably for Salute, they could place the quiz in a few more areas of their site. Like we have brands that will place the quiz on their product pages, which works really, really well, or on their blog posts, things like that. Anywhere that a customer might be struggling to convert or figure out what product works for them. I'd love to see that from Salute. But yeah, I think they're a great example.
All right, fantastic. Aoife Teague, thank you so much for walking us through this. See you
No
in the next
problem.
session.
Thank you.